This is called Lake Loretta in what once was beautiful, good life city, Albany, Georgia. Once upon a time, in the 1970s, early 80s, there was a good bit of industry here in Albany, Georgia. And how do you say this? Roughly 80% of the people were good, hardworking, family-oriented people of that lighter skin persuasion. Then our town began to be taken over by the modern Democrat Party, political left. Things began to change, my fine feathered friend. Today, 2023, get ready for what I'm about to say. This town is 80%, how do you say, that other persuasion, racially and ethnically. This persuasion right here. %. For all the hard-working, family-oriented people have had to flee for their lives and their livelihood. Once all the jobs started disappearing, all the companies started leaving town, people had no other choice but to find a new home, whether that be in Tallahassee or Atlanta or Birmingham or Dallas, Texas, or you name it. This town, in a matter of 20 years, was completely inverted. And turned on its ass. The old population swept out, and the new population, the welfare class, reigned in. Things began to change. In my memory, once upon a time, you didn't ever see any trash in this lake. It was well kept, well maintained. Once upon a time, this town was truly American, truly Christian. Now, just before I myself had to flee for greener pastures in 1998 for North Georgia, my beloved hometown had become the per capita murder capital of North America, meaning per 100,000 people, there were more murders in Albany, Georgia than there were in Miami, Chicago, New York City, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, or even Mexico City. Albany, Georgia became the little crack cocaine capital of the country. Violent crime skyrocketed. Absolutely skyrocketed. I am not lying to you when I tell you that what happened to my hometown absolutely disgusts me to my core. And it can happen to your hometown. If it hasn't happened to your hometown already, it most certainly can. Not only can it happen to your hometown, it can happen and is happening on a national scale. The old American population is being, how should I say, made much smaller or made non-existent, while the new population is being brought in. Everywhere around the world, they're coming to America. From every foreign land, they're coming to America. Yeah, no. But sadly, it's true. Mostly from the African continent, the Middle East, and Central America. That's where they're bringing them from, because they're easily manageable as a slave class and a cheap labor class. What's being done right before your very eyes is going to leave you either without a country or 6 feet under. So if you're not awake yet, you might want to go ahead and wake on up. Might want to go ahead and pull your head out of your ass. You can do it. Pull hard. Use your neck muscles and your back and pull that head right on out of that ass, or you're dead. Let me tell you something. I've gotten to where I can't even hardly stand to look at Facebook anymore because of the multiple stories I see each and every day about those people with that lighter skin tone, shall we say, being either brutally assaulted or murdered. Sometimes murdered along with their families during home invasion robberies. Often raped. Yes. Yes, indeed. You don't ever see any stories racially the other way around. It's the same old story every time. And still this country sleeps. My friend, there is a race war taking place. Except one side doesn't realize it. When you try to tell people, well, they just laugh. Oh, conspiracy theory. Yes, you're just a crazy, racist, right-wing extremist spreading disinformation. Except it's not disinformation. the absolute truth. It's researchable. It's verifiable for anybody objective enough and willing to do the research and find out for themselves. But very few are. And it also doesn't help that there is a concerted effort between the media and the authorities to hide these violent crime statistics. Did you know that in the great state of Texas, all gun-related crimes committed by Hispanic illegal aliens are categorized as involving white Caucasian people? I'm sorry, but last time I checked, Caucasians and Hispanics were of different racial subsets. That's so strange. Why are these gun-related crimes committed by illegal aliens of Hispanic genetics being attributed to white people? Have you thought about that? Have you given that any thought? Do you know about that? Well, I'm telling you about that. So if you want to fall victim to racially motivated violent crime, you want to be murdered just because of the color of your skin, you just go right on thinking that everything is fine, everything's normal, nothing's going on, nothing suspicious whatsoever. Everything's fair in America. Oh, and don't forget, government loves you. Yes. And Big Pharma would never, ever do anything to harm you. They want you healthy so that they can't make billions and billions from your being sick and suffering, my fine feathered friend. You just go right on thinking everything's okay, while this country is overturned little by little. And your children and your grandchildren become the hunted and the conquered. And then, just a few years from now, if that long, the chains are put on them and they're swept into bondage. And they know a life of torment, suffering. Is that what you want for your children? You white lib turds, you morons who think that everything is a conspiracy theory. Is that what you want for your children? Actually, it would probably be best that these things befall you. For you have mocked and laughed at the people who have tried to sound the alarm, to save your children, to save your country. You post your little laughing face emoji on Facebook, which proves that you intellectually debunked that conservative who was trying to provide warning to you. You put up that little laughing face emoji because you're so much more intelligent than they are. You know so much better. There's nothing going on. There's not millions of people coming across the border each year now, a lot of them being brought in by the military. Our military, which has very questionable loyalties. If you ask me, their loyalties are not even questionable. I know where their loyalties are, and they are not with the Constitution. Their loyalties are not with the people of this country. Their loyalties are with globalism and the military-industrial complex and the money-making machine of war. You morons on the left. You ruin every country where you take sufficient control. You are a cancer on this earth. You, the political left, you are a parasitic infestation that destroys empires. You always have been, going all the way back to the Garden of Eden. You are the Canaanites, the descendants of Lucifer, the bloodline of Satan. Yeah, I'm starting to sound like a religious freak, even though I'm not. I'm like Jesus. I'm actually against organized religion because it's corruptible. It's the opposite of spirituality, which is the true nature of man that has been distorted and subverted. You people on the political left. The good thing is, the poetic thing is, you're usually the first to die, and you deserve it when you do. You deserve it. The rest of us do not. And with that, I bid your ass adieu.